Welcome back, everyone. Today we will be discussing a problem from inorganic chemistry. So let's begin, which says X react with dilute HCl to form a gas Y, which further react with sodium nitroprusside to form a purple solution. So the second reaction in which Y react with sodium nitroprusside is basically a confirmatory test of sulfide ion. So Y will contain S2 minus, and since it is a gas, it would be H2S. So now the reaction of H2S has been continued with some of the reagent given below. So let's study the reaction of this given below species one by one. And we have been asked about minus P minus Q upon R, where P denotes number of species which undergoes redox reaction with Y. That means which of the following of this following reagent will react with gas Y to form a product in which redox reaction will happen. And in the Q part we have been asked the precipitation reaction in which redox will not happen. Without undergoing redox, a precipitate will be formed. And in the R part, the reaction may happen or might not happen, but there will be no change. There will be no color change, or there will be no precipitation or gas evaluation. There would be no such thing. So let's see one by one. The first one is FeCl3, which reacts with H2S. Now, as we know, Fe plus 3 is a mild oxidizing agent, so it will oxidize the S2 minus, the minus 2 oxygen state of sulfur, to 0 oxygen state. And this is pale yellow in color. Pale yellow. So the first one, this is a redox reaction and a precipitate is formed. So this will be P. So now let's see the next part. The next part is reaction of CuSO4 with H2S. Now Cu2 plus is one of the 9 cation which react with very scant S2 minus to form metal sulfides as precipitate. So CuS will be formed, which is actually black in color. So this will be also a redox reaction. No, this wouldn't be a redox, because the oxygen state of copper in the reactant and product is +2, and the sulfur also it is -2. So there is no change in oxygen state. So this wouldn't be a redox. So B would be Q, because it is undergoing a precipitation without redox. So now let's move to the C part, which states BaCl2 reacts with H2S. Now Ba2 plus is neither oxidizing or reducing agent. Actually, the group 1 or group 2 cations are neither oxidizing or reducing in nature. I said about cations, so not the metals. The metals are basically strong reducing agent. So Ba2 plus will combine with S2 minus to form barium sulfide, which is actually soluble. So there would be no observable change. So this should be categorized under R. And now let's move to the D part, which says reaction of SO2 with sulfide. Now this will undergo disproportionation to form sulfur. It is a disproportionation because sulfur here is +4. No, actually it is co-proportionation, not disproportionation, because sulfur is here in +4 oxygen state, and here it is -2, and this would combine go to 0. So this is a co-proportionation reaction and a precipitation reaction and redox. So this is P. This will be categorized under P. Now let's move to the next part. The next part say the reaction of dichromate Cr2O7 minus reacts with S2 minus. So this is a strong oxidizing agent and will oxidize sulfur to S. Again, this is a redox reaction, precipitation reaction. So this would be P. Now let's move to the last part. the reaction of sodium acetate Na plus with S2 minus, it will react to form sodium sulfide, which is again soluble, so there would be no change which we can observe. So this will be under R. Now let's move on to the last part, in which Hg2 plus reacts with H2S to form HGS. Now this is also precipitate. This is either black or red, depending upon whether the alpha form of Hg2 plus or the beta form of Hg2 plus is reacting. So this is a precipitate, but no redox is happening. So this is basically Q. So now let's see how many Q we got. This one was Q. This is basically R. This is P. This is P. This is R. Okay. Now this should be Q, because there is no change in oxidation state, so this is not a redox. So we got Q as 2. This was 2, and P as the A1 part was P, the D part was P, and the C part was P. So P was 3, and R the F part was R, and the C part was R. So R was also basically 2. So we were asked P minus Q upon R, which is basically 0.5.